let's get into this. Apparently, Ghost of Yotei is, as Rev is putting it, fucking cooked. So, let's see how Ghost of Yotei is cooked. We heard how they might have been fucking with the Ghost of Yotei lore. Let's see if there's more confirmation of this.
We're here. So today's going to be a jam-packed video because I woke up today and saw an absolute explosion of gaming-related news. Now, we're not going to cover everything I came across. We'll save some of it for future videos. But today, I want to talk about 3 different stories that are all tied by one theme, and that is falling upwards. That is a very disturbing trend in the gaming industry right now, where people who are a part of terrible projects that tank somehow find themselves getting promotions and better opportunities at other studios. And that's exactly what's going on today with some well-known failures like Concord, as well as Dragon Age, the Veilguard. So let's begin here. You can see a couple of weeks ago, we saw the director of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, step down. And everyone was wondering, where is she going to go next? This was...
Yes, Xanax. And no, I do... First and foremost, yes, Rev is male. Second of all, I do not believe that Rev's model is male. I believe Rev's model is a girl, but as Rev said, he uses this model because he likes it. He thinks this model is cute, and that's why he uses it. And that's literally all there is to it. But yes, Rev is a guy.
Her post basically saying to everyone on Blue Sky that she was so happy.
Well, this. You mean X-Post? Okay, Rev's not a femboy. But no, this is Tosh. This is Tosh from Veilguard. Tosh is a woman, but in a female of the species. But in the game, Tosh is non-binary apparently. They had a whole fucking scene about one of the characters pulling up bars because they misgendered Tosh and referred to Tosh as a she instead of Faye. So, yeah. And hello, Catherine. Yeah, and they pulled the bar wrong because she only did 5 push-ups instead of 10.
To go next. This was her post basically saying to everyone on Blue Sky that she was so happy to be a part of Dragon Age and that it's so important to her, but, you know, not important enough to stick around.
It's a thing.
She jumped ship only a couple weeks before the big round of layoffs would begin. Now, she's been pretty busy on Blue Sky, making some typical activism type tweets, including very weird ones like this, where she said just 2 weeks ago, "I wish everyone against puberty blockers for trans youth would experience the pain we endure. Your face peeled back to reshape your skull, breast tissue removed, hundreds of hours of electro..."
Wait. What the what kind of psychopathic bullshit is this? Okay. Let's break this fucking down. Let's break this down. She's for puberty blockers for trans youth. Because I'm guessing she went through surgery to reshape her skull, remove breast tissue, thousands of hours of electrolysis. Puberty blockers have nothing fucking to do with this. Okay? Puberty blockers do not reshape your goddamn skull. That's not how this works. What this psychopath is doing is, again, tarnishing the entire trans community with this bullshit. That's first and foremost. First and foremost, she is doing grievous harm to the transgender community, first and foremost. Second of all, she is projecting so fucking hard right now because, as we discussed before, children should not have access to puberty blockers until they are of legal age. All the science right now is saying that puberty blockers do not help and that they harm. If a youth is transgender, give them the appropriate support that they need. Absolutely. Do not indoctrinate them. Do not basically groom them. Give them the support that they need to go through whatever it is that they're going through to determine if this is something that is actually affecting them or if there is another underlying cause. Do not inject them with chemicals that will in any way alter their physiology when they may not actually know what the fuck they want. Because they need to go through, psychiatric in psychological assistance to find out, is this true? Are they actually trans? Is there something else? Yeah, said I've actually heard both from medical and psychological groups. I've heard certain medical and psychological groups say that they are helpful, and then I've also heard some that say they're harmful. And I am more inclined towards the harmful part, particularly when most other countries outside of the US have banned the use of them. And if countries that are more focused on proper health are saying, no, this is harming kids, I'm inclined to believe that. Kybal, I do believe you're correct. That's why I said most, not all. I do believe it may still be legal in Canada. That is entirely possible. Whether or not that's going to change soon, I do not know. But more to the point, what Corinne Bush is saying, this does not equate to this. She is making a huge fucking leap. A dangerous fucking leap. Going from here to here. This is like blatant. She's doing a blatant bullshit scare tactic. She is trying to scare parents of children that may or may not be trans, and saying, basically trying to scare them, if you don't let your child go on puberty blockers, then they're going to go through all of this trauma. You don't want that for your kids, do you? It's fucking blatant gaslighting. I'm sure it does it. I'm sure it does it for both girls and boys. Using puberty blockers on children writ large is going to affect them in a myriad of negative ways. We have a right to determine their own gender, but we don't have the right to inject them. Yes, and Bree, that's what I've said many times. Like, kids that feel that they are transgender, give them the appropriate support that they need. Appropriate support. Do not start them on any kind of chemical hormone therapy until they reach adulthood and they have seen a qualified, appropriate psychologist to determine if this is what they need to, if this is the path that they should be going. This is deliberate gaslighting, and it's fucking disgusting.
Trauma, but I really can't wish this. I'm not a monster. I wish you access to empathy. Hashtag trans rights. So this is kind of a poorly veiled threat and, again, targeting youth, which is something a lot of people would have a big issue with here. But on Blue Sky, she's been pretty active, continuing with the activism, just today
Oh,
retweeting or
God.
reposting something from an account called Woke for Life. Clearly, they're
Oh,
not learning
fucking
anything
hell.
about how people are rejecting this nonsense. But you can see former Dragon Age the Veilguard, but current question marks with this little shushing emoji here. Well, it's not too much of a
Uh-huh.
secret. People figure it out pretty quickly. You can see from Fandom Pulse here, Dragon Age the Veilguard director hired to work on new Dungeons and Dragons video game. And I feel
Well, they just tanked their game. The moment this gets out, she, they just killed the game. Do you think any gamer, and especially a Dungeons and Dragons fan, what little they have left, are gonna go anywhere near this game that she's working on? Instead of whatever bullshit this is gonna be, they're gonna go to Baldur's Gate. And yeah, D&D, Wizards of the Coast has already ruined D&D. Nobody is buying the current iterations of D&D. Everybody is buying previous gens of the tabletop version. Baldur's Gate was fantastic. They're going to keep playing Baldur's Gate. But is anybody surprised that she got that going on the assumption that Wizards of the Coast is spearheading this? Going on that assumption, is anybody surprised that they hired her? Anybody at all? I'm not. She fits their demographic perfectly. And she's gonna kill this Dungeons & Dragons game just like she killed Veilguard.
so bad for Dungeons and Dragons fans, especially ones who have been a fan of the franchise for decades. They have watched this franchise be ripped and torn apart by activists. It's so bad what's been going on over the past couple of years, especially with Wizards of the Coast.
Yes,
And the
Tornado, I
nonsense
know you actually
that they're
meant
doing.
Adobe Files,
But
not the
anyways,
other
let's
variants.
look at this here.
I
So
know.
actually, there was kind of a bit of confusion here. Smash JT initially broke the story, but it turns out this person, Diversity and Dragons, actually got the scoop a little bit before. So you can see Smash JT providing full transparency and credit, which is an amazing thing to see and something you don't see with the access media. They just steal stories from people, or they overlap or falsely claim they got there first and never correct the record. Here you can see people having a nice interaction and correcting the record and saying, hey, we both kind of worked on this together, and it seems this person got to it before Smash JT. But anyways, let's look at the proof that Smash JT did provide confirmation from his source saying Corrine Bush has officially failed upward to become the game director at Skeleton Key, a video game company under parent Wizards of the Coast. And you can see
Okay, no shock. Wizards of the Coast is that this is directly under Wizards of the Coast. It is no shock that they hired her then. She basically checkmarks all their boxes.
See this screenshot proving that she is there as the game director at Skeleton Key, which again, my condolences to Dungeons and Dragons fans because
No,
Rev.
No. No condolences to Dungeons and Dragons. They were made for each other. Dungeons and Dragons has been on a downward trajectory for years. Corrine Bush was basically tailor-made for them. Okay? She is the epitome of the kind of people they want in their business, which is why their business is failing. Well, D&D, okay, but here's the thing. D&D has lost all of its quote-unquote fans. People in chat that currently play D&D, what edition D&D do you play? Because I'll betcha it is not one of the current editions of D&D. Because what is the current edition? Please remind me. What is the current edition of D&D? Current edition is 5. So notice. Well, oh yeah, 2024. But what edition? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Most of the people in chat that play D&D all said 3.5. Second and 3.5. A couple of you guys are playing fifth edition. The majority are playing 3.5th generation. Wizards of the Coast has not had fans for 2 generations. That's the fact. The only fans left in D&D is a very small player base and a very specific subset of society. Realistically speaking, not all, but most. The vast majority of D&D players are on, as you guys have said, 3.5 edition. Because they started going fucking stupid with, with the latter generations. So that's why I was saying that D&D does not really have quote unquote fans in its current form. That is what I was referencing.
Exactly the route they've been heading for many, many years. Now let's look at this, right? So there's been a lot going on with Dungeons and Dragons related IPs here, where recently, only about a month ago, we saw the Sweet Baby Inc. infected Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance shut down, a game that was very heavily disliked, considered an abject failure, and of course it had a connection to Sweet Baby, which makes a lot of sense when you look around.
This one fucking hurts. The shutdown and the fact that it was a shit-made game. This one fucking hurts because this quartet is one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons quartets. Yeah, very few people heard about it. This is actually Forgotten Realms. This Dungeons and Dragons game was actually in Forgotten Realms because you've got Canterbury, Wolfgar, Brumer, and Dritz. And they are a quartet from the Forgotten Realms. They're probably next to the Dragonlance characters. They are probably one of the most popular D&D characters of all. Dritz himself is easily one of the most popular characters in Dungeons and Dragons. He is without question my favorite character in Dungeons & Dragons. I fucking love Dritz. He is a badass. Yes, they are indeed Haibo. Yes, they are in Neverwinter. But I was referring to the overarching Forgotten Realms. And I saw Angry Joe's review of this, and yeah, it wasn't good. It was not a good game. Oh yeah, well their rivalry is legendary, Ellen. They have an awesome fucking rivalry.
Look around, see what's been going on with the franchise. On top of that, as Smash JT points out here, Corrine Bush is going to fit right in. Yes, this is a real image posted in the WOTC studio. He has joined called Skeleton Key Studios, and this is, I guess, a big group call. And you can just see people like Corrine Bush, they're going to fit in real well here. But
oh, really? Yeah. Look at all the fucking flags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and yes, I'm counting as blood. 7, 8, 9. And of course, 4 of them have the BLM messaging. Of course they have that. It's like, oh my fucking god. What more is there to say? You can see a studio's failure. You can see the studio's failure based on this one picture. This singular picture tells you all you need to know.
This is the absolute state of the gaming industry. I can't think of anything else that would really capture what's going on here and all of the activism that is very present in the scene. Now, this is not too surprising. Again, like I said, there's been some more updates regarding the dungeons in...
Did they bring in? Like, yeah, okay, I was ignoring that because I was counting the flags. Those are the same ones with the flags. Count on the fact that if they've got the fucking flag as their background in their call, just go on the assumption that there's pride attached to it.
Again, like I said, there's been some more updates regarding the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual. You can see people here pointing out, liches no longer have phylacteries because it might be offensive to Jews.
Wait, what? Okay, first and foremost, someone please tell me what the fuck a phylactery is. What is a phylactery? I have no fucking clue what that is in the first place. It's a soldier? How would that be offensive to Jews? How would that be offensive to the Jewish people? Okay, for anyone that is Jewish in chat, if you wish to tell me, how is this offensive to you? What the fuck? This is like, holy fuck, are they going to? Honestly, if they're so terrified of offending people, why are you in this fucking business? If you are that terrified of offending someone, get out of the business. Your game is D&D. Okay? Your game, by its very nature, by your logic, people, not yours, them, is going to offend everybody. You cannot make a game like D&D and not, quote unquote, offend someone. It is not possible. You know why? Because the people that are going to be offended are perpetually offended. You will not please them. The people you are trying to please are beasts that cannot be fed. You will never make them happy. You need to stop fucking trying. Because they are perpetually offended. Being offended is their identity. Okay? It's, you know how it's like, he, she, they, he, whatever? Yeah, these people are, I'm offended. That's their identity. I'm offended. You're never gonna make them happy. And if you keep trying, you might as well just get out of the fucking business. Because you will not please them. It's as simple as that. And if you can't deal with that, you are in the wrong fucking business. Sell the business to someone else who does not give a fuck and will make a game that people will enjoy again.
In the new D&D 2024 Monster Manual, they now have spirit jars. Also, sphinxes are no longer distinguished by gender, and orcs aren't in the book. Have a nice day.
What? Wait. Okay, I have a question. I have a legitimate question. It says orcs are not in the book. Yolk's a playable character now. did they make orcs playable characters? For anybody that has... orcs were always playable characters. Okay. So, if orcs are playable characters, that could... Oh, they've been playable for decades. Okay. But orcs were also in the monster manual because orcs were a common bad guy for you to fight against, correct? No, Ace. What I was saying was that these people that are perpetually offended is their identity. Some have she, her, some have he, him, some have they, them. These people have I'm offended as their quote unquote identity. It was a joke about pronouns in bios. You know, their pronoun in bio is I'm offended. That it was a joke. Maybe it was a bad joke, but it was a joke. Half the orcs were playable, but they removed all the half-breeds not to offend anyone. That I know about Hybo. Okay. So basically, Wizards of the Coast, in their infinite stupidity, has decided that they are going to remove the most iconic monster from the monster manual for reasons. The reasons they have removed orcs from the monster manual. These are probably the same people, I guarantee you, these are the same fucking people that when you look at they look at the Lord of the Rings movie, they go, the orcs is an allegory for racism against black people. I will bet you anything. These are the same fucking people that have that ideology. They're what,
oh
you
dear,
haven't
I have
heard that?
broken our cat girl with my dad jokes.
No, you haven't, Potato. Oh, you haven't. They might as well just shut it all fucking down. Cause that's what they're doing. They are killing D&D with a death by 1,000 cuts. They are. They are bit by bit. They are removing everything in D&D that is D&D. This is the biggest one right here. Taking orcs out of the game is basically removing a core tenet of D&D. Shut it down or sell it. Wizards of the Coast, you're done. You're fucking done.
All of these things confirmed, by the way. So apparently the phylacteries are somehow offensive to Jewish people. They've now changed them to spirit jars, and we have this whole thing with sphinxes, and also we've seen very other gender-related language either removed
you're
or
right.
made to be non-binary with some of the creatures in the games. And orcs, yeah, they're not in the book anymore. You know why they're not in the book anymore? Because Wizards of the Coast believed that their presence was racism, that they were some kind of a racist caricature of black people, because the normal people apparently look at orcs in a fictional setting and immediately think of black people. There's some...
Yeah. And this started with Lord of the Rings. That's how this got started, is you had some reading fucking morons who, again, are offended by literally everything, looked at Lord of the Rings, looked at the orcs from Lord of the Rings, and said, that's an allegory for black people. That's racist against black people. That's how it started. And so I guarantee you, the people at Wizards of the Coast ascribed to that completely brain-dead method of thinking and said, that's absolutely right. We need to take orcs out because it is racist against black people. Because we're stupid. Yeah. These people would put Mary Lou Retton to shame with the level of mental gymnastics that they're doing with this shit. Everything that they're doing is gold-level mental gymnastics to justify their absolutely brain-dead decision-making process.
Somehow the normal people, right? once again, the people who come off as the anti-racists and the progressive people, they are some of the most diabolically racist people you'll ever come across. And again, the stuff with Wizards of the Coast is not new. In fact, we talked about this way back in the day, like 4 years ago almost at this point, where they removed some problematic lore because, again, they thought it would reflect on real-life black people. Here's an example of a monster that was removed because apparently, to the Wizards of the Coast, this looks like a black person.
What? I'm sorry, what? How in the absolute fuck are we getting, are we looking at a beholder and thinking, yeah, this is a black person? God. Yeah, I'm sorry, at this point, Wizards of the Coast is a racist company. Zeb, apparently, according to Wizards of the Coast, a beholder is an allegory for a black person and was thus removed from Dungeons and Dragons, according to Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, let's just call it like it is right now, chat. Wizards of the Coast are racists. They are racists. And the level of racist projection coming from Wizards of the Coast is absolutely insane. This is insane. Friggin', they are a different colored skin. They have a single eyeball with tentacles with eyeballs on them. If you think, and not you chat, Wizards of the Coast, if you think this looks like a black person, check yourself into an asylum because you are fucked in the head right now. Okay? If you look at this and think, that looks like a black person, I'm sorry, you need to go into a padded fucking cell and get put into a straitjacket because I am seriously questioning whether or not you are safe to be around people right now. I would have to worry that you are going to see someone and think that they are a fucking mind flayer and try to kill them. A la Tom Hanks, Mazes and Monsters. Like, this is that shit insane right now. These people are mentally unwell. And Wizards, like, if this is their way of thinking, Wizards of the Coast cannot be supported. At all. The company needs to be shut the fuck down if this is how they think. Because they're fucking dangerous at this point.
I wish I was kidding, but I am not. But let's move on to the next part of this video. We're going to be looking at Sucker Punch Productions and, of course, their upcoming release of Ghost of Yotei. This is a game that's already mired in some concerns where people are afraid there's a certain direction the studio is going. A lot of people seeing the main protagonist here and they're thinking, oh, look, another girl boss. They didn't continue with the male protagonist from Ghost of Tsushima. They go this new route, and apparently the delay is rumored to have been caused by a last-minute switch to a female protagonist. Also, people have looked at the actress behind the main character of this game, and she is a full-fledged activist. In fact, she might be more outspoken than people like Corrine.
Okay, now, if this whole thing is about the actress shooting her mouth off, I don't care. This is not like Hollywood, where actors kind of have at least some small say in their performances. Up to this point, the biggest issue I've heard with this game is the actress shut her mouth off about stupid shit. We've seen the preview, we've seen like the trailer for the game, and the game looks good. It does. Like from things that we've watched a couple of videos. we have watched a couple of videos about Ghost of Yotei. It looks like it's gonna be good. The gameplay looks good. Um, if the issue is only that the lead actress is shooting her mouth off, I don't consider that a big deal. I don't consider that a big deal with just the voice actress for the lead character shooting her mouth off. Now, if there's more that we're about to get into, well, now we're in for fun.
Bush. Like, she is off the wall, unapologetic, and a lot of people are concerned as to what that's going to do in terms of affecting the game. But there was also a bit of controversy back a few months ago when people started criticizing what's going on with this game and raising their concerns. And a former Sony chairman would tell people, basically, don't buy the game. Here's the actual interaction.
Can I just point out a key factor in this statement? This word right here. This word right here is a big factor. Former Sony chairman. No longer a Sony chairman. So take what he said with a grain of salt. 'Cause he's not a decision maker anymore. That is a key distinction that has to be made.
Here saying, number one, it's a game, an entertainment, a story a team of creators believes in. They want to make this. It's a game. If you don't like it, don't buy it. In fact, why not make the game you want yourself, which is the most stupid thing you could ever say. I'm sure Sucker Punch, who's a subsidiary of Sony, by the way, would...
And chat, do you see what I see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, chat? Which instantly makes me think, ignores every single word this fucker says. If you need to put these in your fucking bio, or your screen name, I instantly don't have to listen to you. Because you obviously don't have a fucking clue, you have an agenda, and everything you just said is bullshit. Well, of course he has a Japan flag, he was part of Sony. So of course he'd have the Japan flag to bow to his Japanese masters that he used to work for. You act surprised by this.
Really appreciate this employee from Sony saying something like this, basically doing the classic challenge of, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Well, okay, challenge accepted. Many people would literally make their decision just like that.
Zeb, I'm ranting. I'm ranting. It's, yeah, the last one, that last one was out of line on me. It was. I will call that that last part was out of line about the Japanese flag. This is frying my brain, and I was out of line on that. But I still stand by these two being in the name, and yeah.
That as soon as they saw a response like this, and on top of that, the ridiculous narrative here, why not just make the game yourself? That's like saying you go to a five-star restaurant, you have a professionally trained chef, and they come out with a terrible meal, and they say, well, you don't like it? Well, guess what? Make your own food. Like, it's so stupid. It's such a cop-out. But a lot of people...
I'll do one better. This comment here? Dude, making the video games, this is more like expounding upon what Rev just said. Your job, the industry you are in, is making video games. Your job in the video game industry is to make the customer happy. You are supposed to make video games that make the customer happy and want to spend money on your product. You don't tell the customer you are expecting to pay money for your product. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Why don't you go make your own fucking game? That's not how basic fucking economics works. And for someone that was at such a high position in Sony, you would think he would know this. But apparently we are asking too much of Mr. Sean Layden.
Make your own food. Like, it's so stupid. It's such a cop-out. But a lot of people have been raising concerns. The screenshot has been making the rounds, not only showing the star, Erika Ishii, who is the voice behind the protagonist, but also people are pointing out some of the writing staff. And why are they pointing out the writing staff? Well, there is a connection to another failed franchise and game, and that is, of course, Veilguard. So you can see from that part, Ghost of Yotei.
Shit. Okay, yeah, this is a legitimate concern. Yeah. Okay, now we have a problem. If... Oh, shit. Yeah, that's it. This is a fucking problem. If this goes widespread, if this makes the rounds and gets widely spread, yeah, Ghost of Yotei is fucking done. Because people are not even going to give it a chance. If they know that the people that worked on Veilguard and Andromeda worked on this, they won't even give it a chance. They don't want to spend the money. Again, this is basic economics. People do not have a lot of disposable income right now. A lot of people can't, they have to be very careful with what they choose to spend on video games. And the moment they hear that the dog shit writers that worked on Veilguard and Andromeda are working on Ghost of Yotei, they're not going to want to spend the money on it because they've been burned to the fucking core by Veilguard and Andromeda. Why are they going to want to spend their money on a game written by the same dog shit writers who wrote for these dog shit games? Yeah, they basically just tanked the fucking game.
A fan, concerns increase. Games writers also worked on Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and Mass Effect Andromeda. That is not a very good headline. Once again, failing upwards. Somehow 2 writers have found a place at Sucker Punch after being a part of the failure that was Veilguard. Now, some people are pointing out the individuals here that are listed as writers on
I don't know,
game.
Zeb. I do not know.
The first person here listed is this John Dombrow individual who was a writer on various games, and it's all over the place in terms of the reception of those games. So they're a part of successes like Mass Effect 3, for example. There was also Dragon Age Inquisition. Those are
He did Anthem. He worked on Anthem. No, wait, that's Courtney Woods. Never mind. Never mind. Different person. Different person. Never mind.
Those are 2 games that were objectively successful games.
Wait, no. He did work on Anthem. Oh, fuck. If anybody that's played Anthem or seen the Angry Jill review on Anthem, the writing for it is absolute dog shit. This is not good. Yeah, it had a ton of potential and it got absolutely fucking squandered. The Anthem got absolutely fucking squandered. And it was horrible. Hey, yeah, Jack, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. I thought I heard someone knocking at my door. I think it was actually someone knocking at the neighbor's door. I thought it was mine. Anyway. Oh, boy. This isn't. This is bad. That's all I can say. All I can say is this is bad.
However, they were also a part of big failures like Mass Effect Andromeda, as well as Veilguard, and also Anthem. Those are games that are very disliked, and when you look at his resume, for example, he's basically 2 for 5, right? He was a part of 2 good games, and 3 really bad ones, and 3 recently really bad ones. So there's definitely some concern about that. A lot of people don't like those odds, for example, right? And then we also have this Courtney Woods individual who's another writer listed for Ghost of Yotei. And it's basically the same resume, right? They're part of Inquisition. They're part of Veilguard, Anthem, as well as Mass Effect Andromeda. And I believe Mass Effect 3 as well. So it's basically the same.
So, okay, we're seeing a pattern with both of these writers. There is a distinctive pattern. They started off writing good games. Okay? They started off writing good games, Dragon Age Inquisition, Mass Effect 3. Then, as time has progressed, we see what happened. They wrote Mass Effect Andromeda, they wrote for Anthem, they wrote for Veilguard. They are getting progressively worse. There is zero question. They started off good, and they have gotten progressively worse. That is an excellent question, is how much writing do they do? But the fact is, they did write for these games that fucking tanked recently. And I'm sorry, if you bring a writer on from a game that tanked, that's a problem. You know, a writer's track record, and bearing in mind, I'm guessing that I don't think there's a lot of writers on these games. I would say the number of writers would probably be about the same for your average TV show, which is like a room full, 5, maybe 7. That would be my guess. And if 2 of this group worked on these shit games, and this is not like Veilguard is new, Anthem is not, Mass Effect Andromeda is not. Those are not new. 15 on average. Okay. Mass Effect 3 had 7 writers. Yeah. So, you know, we're not talking about a lot. It's not like this is like 30 or 50 writers working on this game. It's like, effectively speaking, a bit more than a handful of writers. And yeah, if their 3 most recent games were dog shit like this, that's a track record that sticks with you. That's not someone you should be thinking about hiring. You know, if they had like what? If they had, you know, Dragon Age Inquisition, Mass Effect 3, and then Veilguard, I could chalk that up to, okay, they are not the only one. Maybe they got lumped into it. Well, you know, give them a shot. After Dragon Age Inquisition, the next 3 games were garbage. That's a pattern. And it's a pattern you cannot ignore. But apparently, Sony has elected to ignore it. That ain't gonna help them.
Resume. These people have clearly been working together for quite some time, and they've received a joint promotion. They are now a part of Sucker Punch, and they're dealing with a very highly anticipated game. Okay, a lot of people are, I think, rightfully concerned
but it used to be
about
highly
the direction
anticipated anyway
of this game. A lot of it was more, I guess, superficial things, right? Like they're looking at the main protagonist being a female, and people are like, oh, we're going with the classic girl boss type thing. And you know, sometimes I think that's sort of a jump. It's a bit of a reach, right? Just think like, oh, a game has a female protagonist and must be woke or something like that. That is generally a stretch. But I understand where some people...
I think I know where Rev is going to go with this, and on that I do agree. But it's because people have become so gun-shy. Veilguard had 8 writers. There you go. 2 of the 8 they pulled to work on Ghost of Yotei. Not good. But like, it's, well, no, it's, saying it's a jump may be a improper phrasing. But what I was gonna say is, I do get it, is that we as the customer base in the gaming industry have been so inundated with games where, for the most part, when these game companies create a game with a female lead, the female lead is basically a horrible person or a fucking Mary Sue, with obvious exceptions, such as Stellar Blade, that yes, people are now gun-shy when any entertainment product has a female lead. Because for so many years now, the entertainment industry has been pushing like girl power, girl boss, Mary Sue characters, you cannot dislike a woman, etc., etc., that has been getting pushed in the entertainment industry so fucking hard for years now that the entertainment customers are understandably gun-shy whenever a project is presented with a female lead. Because so frequently, that female lead is a horribly written character, a horrible person, a girl boss that if you say anything negative about them, you are an istophobia. So it's an understandable reaction. It's to really pare it down, it's sort of like with if every time a dog goes to eat some food and the dog gets hit, yes, the dog is going to be gun-shy. The dog is going to develop a complex and not want to eat because the dog is fully expecting to be struck every time it goes to eat. It is the same basic fucking principle. And yeah, the dog, and sooner or later the dog's gonna fight back. For people, every time you present a project that has the same tenets, the same basic core tenet that is getting shoved at us, we're gonna go, yeah, I don't know about that, considering everything that's been thrown at us for years. And they're gonna fight back by saying, I'm not gonna do anything with it. It's kind of the same basic principle. So it's not surprising that people are basically gun-shy about any game presented with a female protagonist. Until we start seeing tangible change in the entertainment industry, this is going to be essentially a stock reaction from the public, from the customer base when this is done.
People are coming from, they're fatigued by all of this stuff. They have been hammered with an agenda over and over and over again by the industry, and now they're just basically seeing red. They're seeing woke, right? They see anything that could possibly end up being a component of a woke game, and they just dismiss the whole thing.
Thank you, Seamus.
And they're just tired of anything that reminds them of a possible woke title. And we've seen the same thing with Kingdom Come Deliverance too, right? They see the smallest thing that could be woke or a symbol of the whole game being woke, and they just dismiss the whole thing because they don't want to take a chance.
Yeah, and that's the side effect. That what Rev just said is the side effect. Is now the public has been inundated with this shit so heavily that it's essentially a triggering effect. They see the slightest thing, and many people will go, okay, the whole thing's shit, the whole thing is woke. Because they see basically, if there is a gay character, or a trans character, or a female character that is strong and capable, even if it's well written, even if the inclusion of said characters is perfectly acceptable, makes perfect sense with the story, and is not like tokenized or anything like that, because people have been inundated with this so fucking hard, it's like an automatic response. And like I, from a personal perspective, try not to do that. That's why, with most modern entertainment, I try and, it was like that, like the one game that Sony's putting out, Interstellar. It's why, when we saw that preview, when we saw the trailer, that's why I said, game looks fine. Could be interesting. And there's nothing jumping out at me right now to indicate that this is like quote unquote a woke game. Granted, when I said that, in my YouTube comment section, I instantly got I got labeled as woke. God only knows why. Apparently they didn't watch any of my other videos. But that's the key thing is, and we shouldn't have to, but we kind of now have to make a concerted effort not to jump the gun in terms of, being presented with something in our entertainment that theoretically could be woke in a small way. Before, again, it wasn't like this before. If these games, like Dragon Age Veilguard and, well, particularly Dragon Age Veilguard. If Dragon Age Veilguard came out probably 20 years ago, roughly, it would not have had the same reaction. The whole thing with the woke aspect would not be as big of a deal like 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago, people didn't get, 20 years ago, it was not getting shoved down people's throat. People might have said, I don't like this aspect of the game. I think this aspect of the game is bad or it's stupid or whatever. But it wouldn't have tanked the whole fucking game. Now, that's all people are saying. And you can directly ascribe that to the activist nature of people where everything is getting crammed down people's throats. Like 20 years ago, like the late like the mid 2010s, like 2010 mid 2010s, we were kind of in the golden age for in terms of societal acceptance. Okay, 2010 through about mid 2010s was the golden age of societal acceptance. People had zero problem with homosexual individuals. There was becoming a much bigger growing acceptance of people who were trans. We weren't getting any better. Or we were at not, sorry, no, that's incorrect. We were kind of at our peak in terms of acceptance from a social standpoint. 2016 hit, and it's been all downhill from there. Because in 2016, the activism kicked into high gear. It kicked into fucking overdrive in 2016. And all of that progress leading up to the mid-2010s, gone. All of that progress is gone, thanks to these activists. These activists are single-handedly responsible for absolutely destroying the very thing that they are supposedly championing. And anytime you get an activist that tries to tell you otherwise, tell them to look back at 2010 through about 2014. Point out to them, you will never be able to get what what the LGBT community had in 2010 through 2014. You will never have it again because you don't know how to just leave shit alone. That's just facts.
It's like they've been conditioned to identify these small components with an overall woke game, and they just don't want any of it. Now, you can think those reasons are stupid, especially as a developer. You can say, why would these people not want to play my game over something like that? Or why would it get labeled woke? Well, you can think it's stupid all you want, but that's the reality. These people...
Yeah. Well, G10, that's my ever-loving point. We were making
Alright
good headway.
guys, all we need is a Jinsekai sequel, even if it's a mediocre cash grab. Wait, what's this DEI with a steel chair?
Jinsekai? Revan, I'm sorry, I do not understand. That's above that went over my head. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I know what happened. Oh, is the versus Hiroshima protag. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but you guys all know what happened in 2016. And basically, yeah, 2016 happened and everything went whoosh in either direction. And we've never recovered. That we as a society have never recovered from it because a subset of people lost their fucking minds. And they never got it back. And unfortunately, those people that lost their minds are the ones in positions like CEOs of gaming industries, Hollywood studio execs, politicians, etc., etc. They lost their fucking minds, and all the rest of us are suffering now because of it.
People are not buying the games as a result. So it's something to pay attention to, but I don't think it's going to really impact anyone's decisions in the industry because they're so stuck in their ways.
It's going to take generations, Tornado.
Absolutely forced. And then again, why would they change their ways when they're getting promotions as soon as they're a part of a failed game? It makes no sense. But let's move on to the final story, the third and final story of today's video. Once again, falling upwards at Halo here. So every once in a while, you got to check in on Halo. Definitely a lot of, again, concerns.
Does anybody know about... I didn't even know that this was a thing. Does anybody know about Halo Operation Brute Force? Does anybody know what the hell this is? This is the first I'm seeing of anything of this. Did you? Yet another grindhouse. Okay, by the way, yet another grindhouse, thank you for the follow. It sounds like it's dead now anyway? No, who knows? Let's find out.
About wokeness going on with Halo and Microsoft because there's something very interesting about their activism. It's probably harder than a lot of other companies and usual suspects you think about. Here's this Pride Month tweet they made last year that got a lot of attention. A lot of people did not like this, and they thought this was just corny and a bunch of...
Okay. This is fine, because I'm pretty sure this was a thing in Halo for a while now, doing multiple colored armors. This was always a thing, I think. No big deal. It happens to be called rainbow. Fine. This is fine. What the fuck is this? What in the ever-loving fuck is this? This looks like you gave a Halo statue to a toddler and said, "Here, put color this figure." And a toddler just grabbed some crayons and went and just like scribbled all the fuck over it. What the fuck?
Of activism and virtue signaling as usual. It's slacktivism. It's not much of an effort. They do it the second June crosses over, and the second June is done, Pride Month is over, they revert all their profiles back to regular
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
It's just like the status quo. Anyone who falls for this stuff, I feel sorry for you because you've been pandered.
It's. I'm pausing Rev so much. I'm so sorry. Yeah, and he's right. Every corporation around the world, or in the country, not around the world. Every corporation in the country does this every year, June 1st. They do a bullshit, we support Pride, and pretend like they actually give a flying fuck about Pride. And then the second June is done, business, it's instantly gone. Instantaneously gone. Now, some of them might, because you've got, like, like some of them basically built their entire company on DEI. So some of them, those DEI companies, yeah, sure, they fly the flag year round. But the majority of the major corporations don't give a fuck. They do not give a flying fuck. They're doing it because they want your money. And honestly, it's kind of a gut reaction at this point. It's almost become like routine, where June 1st they'll say, yes, we support Pride, and I forget now for the life of me what month Black History Month is. They do we support Black History Month. This is like, it's become routine that is it February? Okay, for the life of me I can't remember. Okay, it's February. So I'm sure plenty are already starting to do the Black History Month little tidbits in their profiles. It's become routine. They don't actually give a fuck. They're doing this because it's like, look at how wonderful we are. We support these quote unquote marginalized groups. And aren't we so wonderful because we are showing our support for these groups. Buy our shit. But they don't fucking care. And I'd like to think more and more people are actually, figuring this out. I don't know.
Or two, and I guess you don't even realize it. Well, they've made the rounds
There
again.
we go. Called it. Fucking called it. The Hamel armors in African tribal patterning. Who called it? Me? Oh, called it.
With this tweet celebrating Black History Month, and then wearing these designs here. They say we're celebrating the
sometimes too much
contributions
of an
and culture
optimist,
of the Black
Revan.
community within Halo Studios and beyond. We're committed to fostering an environment where everyone feels valued and supported. Let's build a future where opportunity thrives for all.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I bet they accomplished that by DEI.
Hey, Microsoft, how about you become committed to fostering an environment where people that actually know what the fuck they're doing actually get hired, instead of hiring someone based on their politics? How about that? And please, stop trying to pretend like you give a fuck. You're Microsoft. You just want our money. We already know this. You can stop pretending now. And yes, it does look copy-pasted, Greenhouse. Okay, someone in chat, I want to do a test. Type out this sentence. I want you to type out these last two sentences in a Google search. See how many results you get back. Okay? Ignore this first part. These last two sentences. Do a Google search. Tell me how many you get back. I'll keep it paused for another few seconds in case anybody needs to, like, screenshot it or write it down or something. But yeah, this has probably been said thousands of times.
Right? Where you have to give people a leg up because apparently they're not good enough to do it on their own, and you have to discriminate based on the color of people's skin. That's probably what they mean there. But yeah, this is 2025. I don't know if they're reading the room, but you don't got to do this stuff anymore. You don't have to pander like this anymore. In fact, people don't like it,
No.
and they're not responding well to it whatsoever. So I think this is just another ridiculous example here. But what's been going on with Halo, and what's the connection to the falling upwards? Well, we have this headline again from Fandom Pulse saying, former Concord Director of Marketing and Operations joins Halo Studios as Senior Product Marketing Manager.
So when they release this new Halo game, it's gonna shut down in a week? Is that what they're trying to tell us? That we can expect the Halo game to basically launch and then shut down in a week and a half? At least they're giving everybody a good heads up. You know, don't buy their game because in a week and a half it's gonna be gone.
And you know what? You can make the conclusion that that post might have been a part of this
That's what I thought, Elwin.
position here. But yeah, let's look into this thread here. So Madam Savvy would share a nice breakdown of everything, but most importantly, these screenshots show.
Wait, hang on.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Let's see. I've not checked on Halo in a bit. Turns out the marketing director for Firewatch on the team. Imagine she'd be willing to recommend all of her friends for future positions if any of her recruiters needed to fill the role. I don't know if that's really an award-winning recommendation, but filling upwards is part of the jury sometimes. Of course, her favorite part of Halo is the cats because that's what Halo is, kawaii helmets.
Madam Savvy would share a nice breakdown of everything, but most importantly, these screenshots showing this Pamela Piscatello individual who is the new senior product marketing manager. And yeah, as you can see, they were at Firewalk for nearly 5 years. They were there pretty much for the entirety of the development of Concord. And now they're heading right over to Halo. And yeah, it's, again.
But by the way, to my entire Firewalk Studios team, it was an adventure of a lifetime to get to work with every one of you. Game cancellations and studio closures are heartbreaking, but please don't let that stop you from doing the things you love. Please keep taking risks, trying new things, and finding new ways to bring joy to players. We're going to get back on those monkey bars together. So easy for her to say that when she's immediately hired by Microsoft Studios. How fucking pandering and bullshit is this? That she's telling all of the people that got fired, good luck, y'all, you are all gonna slay. Good luck in the unemployment line. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna go over here to my Microsoft Studios job. Read the fucking room, sweetheart. What the fuck? This is some serious bitch energy going on right here. That she's basically just like sticking her nose up, kind of go, oh, you poor plebs. Oh, excuse me while I go, back to my Microsoft job. Oh my fucking God.
Halo, and yeah, it's, again, what's happening here? How do you be a part of a historically big failure and then get a new job?
I'm happy to share I'm starting a new position as Senior Product Marketing Manager working on Halo at Xbox. First order of business, more cat helmets. You dumb fucking bitch. You just came from a studio that failed abysmally. And you're gonna, and your quote-unquote first order of business is this bullshit? This is so fucking stupid it defies description. I can't with these fucking people anymore. Sweetheart, read the fucking room. Halo fans don't want goddamn cat helmets. Halo fans want a Master Chief that's fucking Master fucking Chief.
Immediately. It makes no sense, but here's their contribution so far. Saying this, I'm happy to share that I'm starting a new position as Senior Product Marketing Manager working on Halo at Xbox.
Yes, Sphinx, they are.
First order of business, more cat helmets. Halo's doomed. Anyways, guys. Yeah, 3 examples today of these people in the industry falling upwards, being a part of just cataclysmic failures like Veilguard and Concord, and somehow being rewarded by the industry. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. And like I said, there was a lot of other gaming-related news that came out today. Too much for one video, so we're going to split it off into a couple in the coming days, and I will keep you guys up to date and in the loop on that. But as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below.
Yes, but I'm not a Spartan, Zeb.
I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Zeb. I appreciate that you think I'm cool. I'm not a Spartan. I'm not an Halo. Nanix, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We did. I didn't intend for it to, but... Well, I can't tell the future, and I didn't realize it was gonna go that sideways.